right, moving on. Peter says, when doing a search for our pressure washing company name, when doing a search for our pressure washing company name, several competing businesses advertisements pop up ahead of our listing. Do you believe this is being done intentionally by the competitors to target our brand name with an ad campaign? Or is it a Google algorithm? Well, okay, it could be both. It could be one, it could be either or both, depending on what your pressure washing company's name is. I see a ton of local business clients out there, and SEOs that do stuff for local business clients that have, their company names are also generic search queries. Like, let's just say, Culpeper pressure washing. If that's the company name, that's also a generic search query. So if people are if Google advertisers are bidding on pressure washing Culpeper, right? Then Culpeper pressure washing, their ads will get an impression for that, because if they have it set up as broad match, which most advertisers do, right? Then Culpeper pressure washing is the same as pressure washing Culpeper, or power washing Culpeper, because pressure washing and power washing are variants of each other. So what I'm saying is, again, if it's a generic, if the company name is also a generic search query, or can be, depending on the order of the words, right? Then it might not be that people are targeting what I call a brand campaign, meaning a competitor brand ads campaign. That is something that can be done intentionally. I do it for my tree service contractor clients, not all of them, but the ones that have asked me to do it, we'll do that. We'll set up ad campaigns with the competitors' tree service company names in their local area as the keywords. You can't use the competitors' company names in the ad copy or the headline, but you can bid on their search queries for those names. And I call that poaching, right? When you're poaching leads or clients, customers from another company. And you can do that with a brand campaign, and like a competitor brand campaign. And that's a good strategy. We do that for sure. And by the way, unless the competitor is actually bidding on their own brand name in Google Ads, you can get brand name clicks for dirt cheap. Unless the competitor is also advertising, and then your cost per click is going to go way up for that particular competitor. But if the competitor is not advertising in Google Ads on their own brand name, then you can get clicks for dirt cheap there. Here's an example. I'm running a competitor brand campaign for a tree service contractor that's up in just north of Boston, Massachusetts. And a normal CPC, or cost per click, for tree service related keywords is anywhere between, depending on the area, in that area, it's like between $35 and $50 per click, depending on the search query. But I can get competitor brand clicks, so that people that are searching for, so here's an example. One of the competitors is Iron Tree Service. Iron Tree Service is all over that kind of North Shore area of Boston, and they're everywhere. So we've targeted that competitor brand name for sure, and we can get clicks from that brand search for like $7 or $8 versus $7 to $9, somewhere in that range, versus paying for $35 to $50 for a regular search query click, if that makes sense. So again, it depends. It can be one or the other, or both. It could be that it could be a generic company name that could also be a search query, and that people are also bidding on the company name. But my guess is, it sounds like there's multiple ones. For pressure washing, I don't know that. Again, I don't know this to be true, but I don't know that pressure washing is competitive enough that there would be a bunch of advertisers in your local area advertising on a competitor brand name. It's possible, but it's probably unlikely. It's probably more that the company name is also could be a generic search query, if that makes sense. And I could be wrong about that. It could just be that there's a bunch of people competing on the brand name. But either way, you can certainly do it, right? Is there anything we can do to fight against this? Yes. Set up a Google an ads campaign for the brand, for your brand. I know that seems silly. Why would I want to pay for clicks? Well, it's to drive the cost per clicks way up for all of the other people that might be bidding on your brand name. That's why you do it. Does that make sense? And it's also, and also, by the way, guys, you can have really terrible ads, but if you're bidding on your own brand or a client's brand on their behalf, and you have, you've connected the Google Ads account to their Google business profile, Then when you're doing the Google ads for their brand campaign, you can get clicks for dirt cheap, right? So it's not, I mean, it's, again, it seems silly to bid on your own ad, but on your own brand name, but you can, there's a reason for doing that. You get clicks for really, really cheap, and it also will drive the cost of cost per click values up for competitors that are bidding on the same brand name. Okay. We're considering running a CTR bounce campaign on the listings to deplete their ad budget. Don't do that. First of all, that's ad fraud. You can literally be arrested for that. Like, seriously, that's ad fraud. Don't do that. And also, CTR bots aren't supposed to be able to click on those ads. I'm sure there are some that do, but I certainly wouldn't do that, man. That's illegal. Don't do that. I certainly don't recommend doing that. There's other ways to beat people, guys. Like, just be better, right? I don't recommend any kind of negative SEO or depleting other people's budgets, because what if somebody did that to you? You know what I mean? And by the way, that happens all the time in Google Ads. Ad fraud, a lot, click fraud. That happens all the time, right? But I don't recommend contributing to that.